Back. Today's edition of Your Backyard Raleigh, I am pleased to have Nathan Spencer, Associate Director of WakeUP Wake County. I would like to remind all of our viewers about the power of local philanthropy. Sure, everybody loves Red Cross, and they do wonderful work. But WakeUP Wake County is right here in your backyard, serving the entire community. So very lucky to have Nathan. And Nathan, all kidding aside, thank you for joining me. And please share a little bit about what your organization does.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you, Robert. Wake Up is an organization where we promote good growth, planning, sustainable, healthy communities through education, advocacy, and civic engagement to provide a better lifestyle. That's a lot of very thick words for we help local communities and government develop bold, creative, and fiscally responsive plans for growing and staying, Raleigh being the best and Wake County being the best county in the state. And we are.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And I read the other day that we are now the largest county. So, we're tacking that up. Charlotte's boring compared to Raleigh, and Wake County is the largest. So we're taking over.
Well, we are, you're right. And what I like about, the way I like to think about what you guys do is you're kind of this emulsifier or this go-between between the citizens and a lot of what happens for transportation, air quality, And sometimes I feel as a citizen, I got no voice in that. How am I going to affect transportation? Those
are good points. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's a very good point. That's what we thrive in, is that there is a lot of issues. If you stay close to them, it can get very, very overwhelming. We consistently hear from our board and committee members that it's amazing that we're a 3-person organization and we're able to handle all that's going on because we do focus on housing, we focus on transportation, water and environmental quality, as well as public schools. But it's for us, I shouldn't say for the staff entirely. For me, I'm a policy wonk. When I'm sitting in a city council meeting, I'm in probably the best place I could possibly be. I enjoy listening and hearing this stuff, but also being part of it. If that makes me different, then I'm happy to be it. We focus on how to help people voice those needs for transit, because governments do a lot of good work, but one of the areas that they've never, ever been great at is communicating what they plan to do and getting that understanding of what people need necessarily outside of, elections, which are, we need to have, but the ability to get that feedback and that engagement is something that Wake Up works very hard with. Especially right now as we're all, in our homes.
Right. I love how the civic engagement that's the term in your mission statement, right? That's what you focus. You and I meet for coffee several times throughout the year, and you're always talking about how do we get that rubber meets the road into the citizenship. So, and in my opinion, not only during the quarantine, but right now we don't have CAC meetings anymore. And I feel that now more than ever, WakeUP Wake County can play a role for me and a citizen that has been removed. Is that fair to say, Nathan?
I think it's fair to say that Wake Up fills a spot that in terms of communication between people and government that has always been lacking, but also CAC's definitely had some place in. the value of being able to let someone know that a bus route might be changing, or that there's an opportunity to get to have your voice about something that's being developed nearby. The ability to say, you know, I do want to see more of this. One of the things that we were working on before the pandemic, and something that we hope to get back to once people can get closer to than 6 feet, is having things like physical maps where people could actually congregate together and talk about the development of an area, versus sitting behind a keyboard and not being able to interact with your neighbor. To be able to say, well, actually, I don't like the idea of you building that right next to my house. Why don't you build that down the street? And having the neighbor down the street say, why should they build it in my neighborhood? Why not yours? And it creates an interaction and conversation.
That's of paramount importance and very lacking today. Are you making any other changes or adaptations to the new quarantine virus environment?
We're doing a lot. We're taking opportunities to speak out with our letter writing. We've been advocating both on a local but also a federal level by pushing issues of personal protective equipment to the federal government for transit drivers.
Nice.
We worked very hard on the housing bond initiative to get engagement, so that there was a survey that was put out. While we would have preferred to be able to communicate with people in person and really get their opinions in person, because of the quarantine, we weren't able to. So WakeUp took the lead in terms of really getting that outreach and getting that message out. We're continuing to do things like that. Tomorrow, in fact, we've got an event through our capital area Friends of Transit, where we're inviting a bunch of planners from DOT and Garner and Raleigh and a couple consultant agencies to talk about what could be the roads and the streets in a post-lockdown world. So where we had to stay 6 feet apart, but how can we have wider sidewalks, more bicycle lanes? How can we have open districts for cafes and interacting? And what else could we do to protect people?
I signed up for it, and when I did, there were several spots left, but it seemed like they were going fast. Is there room still if anyone's interested?
Oh, there definitely is room. We got the big Zoom, so we have some room in there. But we wanted to make it so that there was an opportunity for lots and lots of people to come and listen and interact, ask questions, and dream a little, because we're not necessarily making plans for the future, but at the same time, we are looking for a way for planners to say, this is what could work. Right. And if we can get city council to run with one and say, we're going to close down these streets and we're going to make this a bicycle area, and we're going to provide safer areas for you to ride with your kids. More power. I think it's a better opportunity for everyone.
Well, I know you very well, Nathan, and this is your MO, but it also seems to be the MO of WakeUP Wake County. Is first, we're going to provide an environment for dreaming and planning. And then we're going to invite everybody to the table, and not just the planners who are experts in it, but this is your backyard, people. This is your backyard, small business owners, and they're inviting you to this table. So I am very excited to be attending, and I'm very grateful that you and your organization are here to give me a voice and an opportunity to sit at the table. So
I appreciate your interaction, and I appreciate your kind words. We are really made up of people exactly like the listeners of your broadcast. Our board, our committees, our staff is all made up of professionals and experts in their areas, everything from, public education and transportation, but law and communications and outreach and strategic planning, and even a climate scientist, but, business leaders and developers and folks who have been living in public housing. I mean, it's a wide array, and we welcome more people with voice to come and participate, because it only makes us stronger.
So if you're interested and you haven't signed up, just check out their Facebook page and link through and look for me. I'll be there. So in our last few minutes, do you have a call to action or any highlight that I didn't get to touch on before we lose our time together?
Well, I appreciate that. The one thing I will say is that we're all sort of dealing with this pandemic together, but we're all gonna come out of this together with fewer jobs, some less opportunity, more unstable homes, and a lot of need. And we need to make sure that government is there to help us and to help us thrive as a community, but also as individuals. That's what Wake Up does. We are there to help that connection, but also help guide government through those. So we work off of donations. We are 50% grant funded and 50% funded by viewers like you. And I've always wanted to say that. So we would love and very welcome any help at wakeupwakecounty.org. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, Nathan, I'm going to make a donation today. And more of what I see going on, we need these dialogues. We need this opportunity to have some influence and to be heard. And Wake Up Wake County is a go-to place. And the power of local government is the same thing for the power of local businesses. You can have a greater impact in your backyard than you ever can on a national scene, right? And it makes sense. You spend more time in Wake County than anywhere else on the planet. So if you're viewing, if you are a fan of your backyard, Raleigh, I encourage you to get involved, because everything you need as far as transportation, water, is being discussed at Wake Up Wake County. So Raleigh, all this and more is in your backyard. Nathan, thank you for joining us, and we'll wave off, and we'll see you tomorrow online.